I am Father Xavier Pinto. It's the 57th year of my religious profession, and I've just completed 50 glorious years sharing the priesthood of Christ. My address in my email stands. I have put a byline. Your lifeguard walks on troubled waters. That is the scene of Jesus walking on the troubled waters, Peter sinking, and Jesus stretching his hand and saying, "Oh, you man of little faith," and brings him up. So I felt that was the kind of crisis the apostle was, in which a fisherman apostle, in which Jesus helped him. So that is still my byline. Another line in my address is friend of seafarers and redemptorist missionary. That is because right through my seafaring work, which was, as I told you, a CBCI appointment first, but endorsed by the Vatican for South Asia and for the Gulf and for India, I discovered that day-to-day life was being run and it was okay. A sailor goes, he comes back for a short while and he stays with his family and goes. But when did I begin to see crisis? When the phone and the internet wasn't there. We had a slogan which we used to exchange among us just to help seafarers. The seafarer had a wife in every port. That was the belief. Now you can imagine the disaster in his own family if that's what goes on. So I began to delve into those issues, especially when I was having meetings with seafarers. I didn't have to address them because they were in each country the crisis that they were facing. But the crisis I really got involved with was two fronts. One is fishermen crossing the sea borders and boundaries in their area, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, in South Asia. I could be present here. I wasn't worried about other countries. So when a seafarer, for example, a fisherman crosses the boundary near Kanyakumari, Coast Guard is waiting. They see them. They just go and catch them, arrest them, take them to their prison. Next day, the Indian Coast Guard will be there. And they look at the Sri Lankan fishermen coming and they arrest them. So this has been going on. So I thought that was a good crisis to get involved in. We have been involved, I am one player, but motivator for the Sri Lankan NGO and the Sri Lanka prison ministry to say that we just have no choice. We have to send your men back to your country, and we appeal that we do something to bring our men back to our country. It's working. I make trips to go there, and there are people who sponsor my trips to go, so there's no problem with that. There was one special one I can share with you about Pakistan. What happens between Pakistan and India? 14th August and 15th August, very important dates. 14th August, they will release prisoners of all sorts and publish in the papers for the world. We have released. India can't keep quiet. 15th August, we have to publish. We have released. One of those times they released 25 of our fishermen. So I went to the border, Wagah border, where they crossed over. And it was so unfortunate that as they were crossing, one gentleman, gentleman from the Muslim faith, he crossed the border, came into India, fell down and died out of happiness. His family was waiting for him. It was a crisis we had to get involved in, and we helped them out to understand what is going on. Apart from that, I've been involved right through my 15 years in the return of body bags, which was very, very tough and very difficult. But it is an international issue where you have to contact the seafarers, chaplain, the hospital, the possible bishops, the possible diplomats, and say, whatever you do, we want that body back. I brought one body back into Vasai. He was a gentleman who celebrated his 25 years of marriage, 2 daughters aged 22 and 21. And they said to him, "Dada, don't go back, enough. This is the last voyage. I'll go. Just want to celebrate with my friends." He went on this voyage and he didn't come back. He might have had some accident, he fell overboard and he was missing. It was in the African waters of Benin in Togo. So I got into action. I contacted the Togo Benin Archbishop and I said, can you help? I was very happy to discover that in Togo and Benin, he is a diplomat. So he fired off his diplomatic letters. We want the body back. I supplied documents, names and all that on fax. It took me 21 days to get him. They found him 30 kilometers away from where he had fallen. And as they found him, they returned the bag, we organized the body bag, and there I was at the funeral. So these are the stories of crisis intervention. There are many others, smaller ones, bigger ones, where I am happy to help. Loss of jobs, they turn to us as apostleship of the sea. So I have to apply and help them out through one international organization which is doing fine and fantastic work from London, ITF, International Transport Workers Federation. Transport, which includes transportation by sea. They also get involved with other means of transport, but they're very, very keen on getting involved with seafarers. So through the ITF, I've solved many a problem. If somebody is not being paid and they said this is going to happen, 10 of us have worked, write to the ITF, send the list. You won't believe 2-3 months time they get their salaries, because these are the players. We can say what we like about the preaching apostle. That comes naturally to us as redemptorists. But getting involved at the social justice level is a very different cup of tea, and you need to have the guts. And that is where I believe that communities have to have an understanding. I haven't been without criticism. One confrere said he travels and flies around and works only for the rich. Okay, that's your comment, my friend. I know his name, I know where he lives, but that's your comment. Okay, so that's why in the introduction to my book I've said bouquets and brickbats are welcome. So there are people who would like to see what you are doing. Basic, the family, they just keep you encouraged, and that is what we have to bless ourselves with, that each of us come from a family that supports us. So this is the happiness of working with dedication, with a vision, with the energy I have. Money is the last, it comes. Okay, so but I have to struggle for it. So as you struggle for that and you rely on donors and people who are sponsoring you, work must carry on. As I say, till my feet hold me and till my energy lasts, I will keep going on the road. After that, let's see what happens. And I don't want to sit at home and fall sick. That's the last thing.